Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tara Grant. I'm honored and excited to be speaking to you today on behalf of some of your patients. We've got some great news to share. I feel confident that we are entering a new phase in the treatment of Hidradentis Suppurativa, a new phase that includes a holistic approach to the management of this debilitating condition. The way HS has been managed up until now has been less than successful. Some would argue that it hasn't been managed at all. By the time patients arrive at your office, they've already seen several doctors, some of whom have told them to bathe in bleach, others who have told them that invasive surgery and antibiotics are their only option. They've been scared by online forums, tested for STDs, ostracized by family and friends, and feel like they're completely alone. They know the standard treatments for HS are ineffective. They come to you after many years of suffering, ashamed, alone, and desperate for relief. You are their last hope, and they are hoping that you will tell them something new. The physical pain HS causes is obvious. I'm sure I don't need to try out a thought exercise on you guys about how you would feel if you had a golf ball-sized, pus-filled lump on your genitals. The physical pain is obvious, but the mental anguish is not. We, your patients, feel that you have failed us in recognizing this. We also feel that we have some vital input into the pathology of HS and the treatment of the people who suffer from it. We know our bodies, and we're starting to learn what works for us as individuals. We want to work with you in order to find effective natural treatments, and we want the pharmaceutical experiments to end. We are only beginning to understand the human body as a whole. For centuries now, modern medicine has been carving the body up into teeny tiny specialities. It hasn't done us any favors. Doctors are taught to simply treat symptoms or even individual inflammatory mediators like TNF-alpha, not to look at the bigger picture in order to find the root of a problem. It wasn't until I looked at my body as a whole that I was able to resolve my HS and to help many others to do the same. When we look at the incredible interactions taking place between every cell in our body, we can easily see how it's all connected and how finely tuned our early warning systems actually are. Hippocrates said that all disease begins in the gut, and most of us have realized by now that if our second brain isn't happy, our big brain isn't either. If our intestines are inflamed, is it crazy that our bodies could somehow give us a heads up by making that inflammation apparent somewhere where we can see it and deal with it, like our skin? Is it outlandish to believe that neurotransmitters and cytokines can travel from the brain to the intestine and back to the brain again and create symptoms that make us aware of what's going on inside of us? We don't think so. By looking at the bigger picture, our body as a whole functioning unit, and our symptoms as warning signs instead of the actual problem itself, we have been able to not only stop the progression of HS, but to put it into remission altogether. At the same time, we've found the coexisting conditions we've been suffering from simply go away. I'm here to tell you today that there is hope for your patients. My colleagues and I recently created a poll, and this is what we found. Out of 276 people surveyed, 92% of them had been diagnosed with Hidradentis Suppurativa by a doctor or a specialist. Severity of the condition was across the board, with 35% of patients diagnosed as stage 3, 30% in stage 2, 10% in stage 1, and 25% in an unknown stage. A little more than half of the patients had tried an elimination diet. Of those people, 65% of them saw a noticeable improvement in their symptoms. These are astonishing numbers, but it gets better. 71% of the people who tried an elimination diet and who also saw considerable improvement have identified specific food triggers that affect them as individuals. 26% of those people are in complete remission. Many of the people in remission were in stage 3 and were told by their doctors that they would never get better. Of the people polled, exactly half of them think that their attitude affects their ability to heal from their condition. When we understand that our attitude and our outlook contribute to how we feel and to how we heal, then giving patients hope becomes a necessary part of the prescription. Unfortunately, a high percentage of the people surveyed that told their doctor that diet changes were working for them were either not believed or were dismissed as not being credible. Some were told that doctors are only trained to dispense pharmaceutical drugs and not nutrition advice. I myself was told by a dermatologist that what we eat does not affect our skin. Coming from a specialty that has long recognized gluten's role in various dermatological conditions, this is a difficult thing to understand. So is the medication that is regularly prescribed for people with HS. Of patients surveyed who had tried medication for their condition, 79% of them said that it did not help or actually made things worse. Those of us that are managing our condition naturally have absolutely no need for any type of drug whatsoever. When your patients leave your office, would you like it to be with their heads held high? It can be. All you have to do is give them hope. Tell them that thousands of people all over the world are putting themselves into remission all by themselves. Tell them that they have the power to heal themselves without medication, without surgery, and watch what happens. Many will resist. They'll want a magic pill. They're not yet ready to see the bigger picture or the part that they play. Many will resist, but some will not. Some will rise to the challenge. Some will take the information you provide and they will transform their lives and everything in it. They will heal both physically and emotionally, and in turn, they'll help others to do the same. We can no longer ignore the success stories or simply continue to treat symptoms. Your patients must know what options are available to them besides surgery and drugs, which have devastating side effects and don't work. They must know that natural solutions are available and within their reach. They must know that what they eat and how they live affects their skin. You, as a dermatologist, as a highly trained and respected specialist, we are imploring you to trust in the beauty of the human body and its amazing capacity to heal itself and to give your patients the hope they so desperately crave. They must know there are others out there just like them, and many of us have a handle on our condition. Some of us have been able to make it go away completely. They must know that they're not contagious, they're not dirty, and they're not alone. When you empower your patients, great things happen. Give them the support they need to heal emotionally, and they will honor your legacy as a healer. Give them hope, and they will surprise you. You can't make the necessary lifestyle changes for them, so empower them to do it themselves. Let them know that they're in control, but that you're there to help. Take them seriously and listen to them when they tell you that something isn't working. At the same time, listen to them when they tell you something is working. Thank you for taking the time to listen to us today. By working together, we can create natural, effective treatments for HS. We can empower our patients and thereby empower ourselves as healers, teachers, and fellow human beings. Thank you.